Hi Internet, I'm John Appleseed. Welcome to my YouTube channel where we do a daily crossword puzzle. Today we've got the Sunday New York Times Crossword for April 26, 2026. The constructor is Rebecca Goldstein and Will Shorts is the editor. The title of today's puzzle is Well Suited. My first guess is maybe suited refers to cards. Maybe it'll have something to do with playing cards, but we'll find out as we go. Could be something completely different. One across is touch up text. I think that's to edit. One down is Massachusetts state tree. Okay, I did not know this, but a three-letter tree beginning with E is probably an elm. Two down, pair, duet. And it seems to be linked with 29 down. Well Suited was the title of the puzzle, I remember. Three down, memo starter. So in reference to might be a way to refer to a memo. Do they still use that? Maybe only in crosswords. Four down, consumed, say. Took in. Maybe 18 across, like the Islamic calendar. They use a lunar calendar. 23 across, this one in italics, so probably related to our theme. Fashion item for an aspiring grocer. Fashion item for an aspiring grocer. Well suited. Okay, maybe it's items of clothing that go with certain occupations or things like that. A market, aspiring grocer. Nope. Pair. I like duet, actually. Consumed, say. Taken in. It was consumed. It was taken in. 19 down. Transplant as a plant is to repot. Yeah, that works. 27 across. Place to dive in at the deep end of the pool. Pair. Duad? That's not a word, is it? 24 down. Large measure of computer data. Some kind of byte, like a terabyte, yeah. Or terabit. 31 across, neither's counterpart is nor, as in neither nor. 5 down, planted. Sown, like seeds can be sown. 6 down, trumpeter Jones. Doesn't ring a bell. 7 down, bit in a horse's mouth. With a question mark, so probably not the bit. It goes with the reins in the harness, but an oat, a bit of grain in the horse's mouth. 8 down, group spotted on an Alaskan cruise, perhaps. You can spot whales or walruses or seals, I don't know. 9 down, Hanukkah in Santa Monica. Writer, Tom. Well, I don't know that title, but Tom Lehrer. It sounds like a Tom Lehrer title, doesn't it? Hanukkah in Santa Monica, okay. One might be used for stepping up or sitting down. 5 across, you can use a stool for those things. 20 across, Windy City Airport. That's Windy City is Chicago, and O'Hare is the major airport there. Fashion item for an aspiring grocer. Okay, market watch is a phrase. I think it's a radio show on NPR or something like that. But yeah, a watch, a wristwatch could be a fashion item. And maybe an aspiring grocer would want a market watch. So kind of a jokey thing there. That gives us Thad Jones. Yeah, that kind of sounds familiar. 8 down would be an orca pod. A group of orcas is called a pod. And those all seem to fit. Okay, so 28 across became apparent. It arose like an issue. 10 across, hoot or holler. Nope, 10 down, jabbers. Yaps, maybe. 11 down, lake from which the Niagara River flows. Lake Erie is up in that area. 12 down, trip strip. A trip strip, something you use to take a trip or a strip that you trip over. I don't know. It's a nice little tongue twister, isn't it? Tip strip. 13 down is Tale as Old as Time. Sad to say the least. Tale as old as time. Beauty and the Beast. Let's try yell for hoot or holler. And then yaps for jabbers. Birmingham bum. Okay, I think this is arse. Birmingham in the UK, a way to say to refer to one's rear end in the UK might be arse. 25 across, for an aspiring nanny. Okay, so it is fashion item for an aspiring nanny. Not sure. 12 down, trip, strip. No, LSD, a drug. I've heard of tabs of acid. Never taken LSD myself, but I think that can be embedded in paper that you chew or inhale or lick or something. I don't know, but I think it's a strip of paper embedded with LSD, and that would send you on a drug trip. So it is trip strip. That makes sense. Tale as old as time, a legend. Pigeon for an aspiring nanny. 26 down, earth. Nope, 14 across. Let's go, guys. 22 across is stay in your blank, stay in your lane. 26 down, earth. 14 down, anyone's game. Nope, 15 down, independent thinker. 16 down, Justice Kagan in 83, for example. Elena Kagan in 83, maybe, is that when she graduated from law school or something? Or maybe her first year of law school. This is a good crossword word to know. A 1L is a first-year law student. And it's a useful crossword word. It's not used outside of that context. It was the title of a novel by Scott Turow. If you ever see Scott Turow novel, it's probably 1L. 17 down, Scottish Loch Ness. So let's go, guys. Maybe, come on. I still don't know what this is. Is it kid? Oh, yaks for jabbers. Then kid gloves. Gloves are a fashion item, and nanny deals with children or kids. So kid gloves, that is a phrase I've heard. 26 down, earth. Is it loam, a kind of soil? Stands around an art gallery, stands that you might see standing around an art gallery are easels, where the stands for the paintings. 33 down, central. 40 across is outmoded component of a car's dashboard. An outmoded component. What is something we don't use anymore in cars? Anyone's game would be a close game. Independent thinker, maybe a maverick. Central. That's not clicking for me. Enter, no. 41 down is compete. To vie for something can be to compete. 42 down, summer setting in Somerset. In brief. How do they refer to time zones in the UK? Somerset also in the UK. We've got a lot of UK stuff going in here. Is this a CD player or something? CDs are kind of outmoded. 47 across. What gives a wine tartness? Maybe acid. Hopefully not the LSD kind. There's probably a Somerset in Massachusetts or somewhere. Maybe this is just Eastern Daylight Time. That would be an American time zone. $50 across is a fashion item for an aspiring housekeeper. Kind of jacket or pocket. Housekeeper. Yeah, no, okay, I'm going to come back to that section. 32 across, a small detail. I think small means abbreviated here, so specification would be a detail, and a small version of that word would be spec. An aspiring manicurist. Something about an emery board. I don't know. 43 down, biblical garden, the Garden of Eden. 48 across, is quip. Nope, 53 across, scored 100 on a test, aced it. 60 across is church spaces. All right, that can be apses or naves. Common church-related answers, but they don't quite mean the same thing. 66 across, corporate fashion advice embraced by the candidates in 8 clues. Dress for the job you want, probably, something like that. 72 across, 1 in 100. There are 100 senators. Let's try that, sen. 34 down, calls for. I'm not sure. 35 down, it's truly important to me. I decide, settle the score to get even. Something for an aspiring manicurist. Okay, a manicurist deals with your fingers, which are your digits. So a digital something might refer to a manicurist. Quip, is that wit? Calls for. He called for his pipe and he called for his bowl. And he called for his fiddler's 3. Let's try knaves for the church spaces now that we have that V there. This is probably dress for the job you want, which is a phrase I've heard many times. So 34 down, calls for demands. A bon mot is a witty saying from the French for good word. It's used in English that way. And I do care. I do care. It's truly important to me. No, really, I do care, despite what you think. 44 across, did some donuts with a question mark. Donuts can be spinning maneuvers with a car or a ski board, a snowboard, or maybe you just ate donuts or iced donuts or something like that. I don't know. 49 across, fragile mineral. I think mica can be easily fragmented. That turns into like small shards of glitter kind of thing. Standing O, the French word for water, and the French word for lake is lac. So I think we're looking for a French answer here, and lake or lac fits. Blade runner with a question mark. Maybe you baked the donuts. Okay, yeah, that makes sense for 44 across. You did some donuts, you baked. Yachts. Pronouns, ships are referred to as she or her, so let's put in she there. Digital shorts that's a phrase that makes sense, and shorts are a fashion item that goes with digital. Okay. A skater is somebody who runs on blades of ice skates, I guess. Okay, I will allow that. 29 down, 4. So, duad. I'm glad I saw this because it reminds me of this word. I've never heard the word duad. I've heard dyad and I've heard duo, but not duad. But there are a lot of words that I've never heard before, and that doesn't mean they don't exist. Lunar is right for Islamic calendar, market watch, and deep end. I think that's right. So I'm going to say duad is a duo, or a duet, or a dyad, and I'm going to think that 29 is 4, 2 down. So 4 groups of 2 is 8, or an octet. So I think that is right. 45 across, dermatology case. A case you might study as a dermatologist, a case of acne or something like that. Maybe this is an octad. What is 39 down? Dirty film. Can be scum, as in pond scum. I'm trying to make acne fit for 45 across. 46 down, Federal Intelligence Group. Could be the National Security Agency. Let's try acne and octad or octol, maybe. 50 across, 4, an aspiring housekeeper. Okay, yeah, a dust jacket. An aspiring housekeeper would need to know how to just, so he or she might have a dust jacket, which is the word for the cover of a book. 33 down, freeze frames. And central, it's not under, is it? Inner? Okay, like central. Your central being is your inner being. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Earth is land. I guess this is a CD drive, which we used to have. You'd put it in your trunk, load all your CDs in there, and then you could control it from the dashboard. I think it was usually an aftermarket item, but yeah, outmoded component of a car's dashboard. I would allow that. 14 down, anyone's game, close race, and then 33 down, freeze frames. Okay, yeah, I like it beginning with ice for freeze. Freeze frames, ice trays are kind of frames that you put the water into to freeze. Yeah, that makes sense. Blank one, the presidential helicopter, that's Marine One. Blank Dreams of Sushi, acclaimed 2011 documentary. Okay, probably Japanese name, Jiko, perhaps. Cordoba's country. There is a Cordoba in Argentina. They have a distinctive accent where they prolong a syllable. They say, instead of Cordobés, they say Cordobés. I'll always remember that from my time in Argentina. So Giro sounds like it could be a Japanese name. 52 down, sharp, cornered, angular. 55 across, soaks up the sun, tans. 61 across, your wish is his command. Maybe a genie. So we get skater, looks right, insect with more than 14,000 known species. Okay, ant fits there. Did not know that. PubMed organization, the National Institutes of Health. Sounds like it might be associated with PubMed. I'm out of here. See ya. For 58 down, 68 down is end of Q2, the second quarter. The fiscal year begins in October, right? So the second quarter would begin in January. 69 down, World Cup cheer. Let's try Olay. And 70 down, watch your back. Not sure. Holiday season. Well, that's Yule's. Okay, maybe we're going by the regular calendar and starting in the second quarter in June. Well, that's the end of second quarter, yeah. So the first quarter would begin in January, end in the end of March. The second quarter would end in June. Okay, all over again, anew. Watch your back, beware. And 85 across in the distance. Let's try afar. 80 across, Japanese floor mat. That is a tatami, I think. 71 down, intelligent humor. Okay, this is wit. I wanted to put in wit for 48 across where we had Mo. Patisserie treat. A patisserie is a pastry shop in French. What is a treat you would get at a patisserie? Maybe a French pastry like an eclair or a baguette. No, that would not be. That would be a boulangerie. 64 down, stain from a pen, an ink something. Ink mark. Soccer star ham for 63 across is a Mia ham. 65 down, name tags. Not sure about that. Works on an ice cream cone. You are working on your ice cream cone by licking it. Macaron is a cookie thing you might buy at a pastry shop in French. Stained from a pen. I'm going to try ink mark. Name tags. Oh, @ signs are tags for your name. Online, yeah, that works. 87 across, wiping cloth is rag. 92 across, I wasn't born yesterday, is that phrase. And 96 across, suitable clothing for an aspiring dry cleaner. Ending in NKS, is it tanks, like tank tops, or trunks? What is something that would go with trunks and dry cleaning? Not sure. Like contact lenses for astigmatism for 90 across. Don't know that. 86 down, tree whose wood is used for telephone poles. I don't know this either, but a 3-letter tree that begins with F is fir, same as we used for elm up in 1 down. 80 down, diplomatic, maybe tactful. Diplomatic in your approach or your remarks. 73 across, Ming in the Basketball Hall of Fame. Yao Ming is a basketball player I've heard of. Tawdry for 76 across, not sure. 49 down, come home soon, miss you. 67 down, Jamie with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Maybe Jamie Farr, who played Max Klinger on MASH. He showed up in the Weekender Cryptic Crossword this weekend, which I'm going to post on Tuesday. 61 down, Superfood. Superfood with a question mark. Not sure. Tawdry. Nope, 77 down is post-op area. In brief, where do you go after the operation? A recovery room, or would you go into the intensive care unit after that, maybe, if you're in serious condition? 78 down, Pops. Nope. 81 across, clothing for an aspiring travel agent. Nothing clicks there. All right, we're about 2/3 of the way through the puzzle. Haven't had many songs to sing yet. Let's see if we can get some more of those. 81 down, not do much of anything, say. No, 82 down, night before is Eve, as in Christmas Eve. What are you doing New Year's Eve? Okay, we got another song in. 83 down, like a comedian who bombs. Nope. 76 down, like rush hour traffic. An aspiring travel agent. What would an aspiring travel agent wear? 88 across, Italian cooking staple for short. Okay, that's probably extra virgin olive oil, or EVOO, an acronym I learned through crossword puzzles and then came across as I was reading about the Mediterranean diet as part of my plan to improve my own health. 93 across, make it through. And not do much of anything, say. I don't know what word would fit there. Loaf or goof, I don't know. 83 down, like a comedian who bombs. 99 across is machines in some print shops. A lithograph. I don't know. Apartment cooler for short would be air conditioning. How do we shorten that to AC? That's not enough letters. 110 across, something for an aspiring flutist. What goes with flutes? Embouchure. Nope. 115 across, used the doorbell, rang. You rang. 119 across, it has its ups and downs. An elevator or a seesaw, according to the old Dixie Cup jokes. It has its ups and downs. Nope. Can't think of a 4-letter word that fits there. 102 down, out of its correct position. Awry, and that gives us yo-yo. For what has its ups and downs. Yep, should have thought of that. 103 down, Florentine farewell. Florence in Italy, we might say ciao there as a farewell or a greeting. Not funny could be a comedian who bombs, as John Mulaney was told by Mick Jagger. Not funny, when he was pitching him jokes for his appearance on Saturday Night Live. Like rush hour traffic, that's stop and go. So, dentures? Why would an aspiring travel agent wear dentures or venture? Make it through, to get past. And you might veg. I'm just vegging today, not doing much of anything. So is this a venture? I guess can be a travel thing. What is the garment that goes there? I don't know. 99 across, machines in some print shops. Oh, faxes. You might still find a fax machine like at Kinko's or one of those kinds of shops. An AC unit for the apartment cooler. And then 94 down, grid line is an axis. 95 down, leave on a trip, set out. So what is tawdry? Sordid is a synonym of tawdry. Superfood, just good eats, I guess. Super in the sense of good food, enjoyable food. 77 down. Let's put in ICU. Venture cap. A cap is an item of clothing. Venture capital can be referred to as venture cap, I guess, although there's nothing in the clue to indicate we're abbreviating capital as cap, but I guess I'll allow that. Your pops, or pops plural, are dads, fathers. And progress through technology, automaker, I guess that's Audi. I've not heard that slogan, but it fits. Stack at a falafel shop. A falafel shop would have pitas, a stack of pitas to put the falafel on. Steamer trunks is a phrase, and steamer is something an aspiring dry cleaner might use, so they might wear steamer trunks. Like contact lenses for astigmatism. Don't know that. Tour de France peaks. The Tour de France probably goes through the French Alps. Let's try Alps there. Palm Spring for 104 across with a question mark. Nope. So wind socks are something you might see in an airport. That's a phrase, and maybe a flute is a wind instrument, so a flutist might wear wind socks. Stick used for braking in pool is a cue stick. 104 down, pod. In Creole cooking often features okra, which is a pod-like plant. 105 down, helper could be assistant. We're asking for an abbreviation there. Hides. Furs are hides. I bought you violets for your furs, and there was blue in the wintry sky. You pinned my violets to your furs and gave a lift to the crowd passing by. So I think we've changed set out to set off, and that gives us furs for hides, animal skins, and 120 across accomplishment is feet. Then Palm Spring, I guess, oasis, a spring where you might see palm trees, I guess is what that is asking for. 97 down is Michigan politician Slotkin is Elisa, something like that. The letters that I would be able to know for her name are already in the puzzle, so I think the next one is S. 112 across is for an aspiring photographer. Clothing for an aspiring photographer, maybe shot or shoot, something to do with that. 90 down, one clicking with an audience. Not sure. 91 down, meditation syllables are ohms. Clicking, like a tap dancer or rap. And then what is 90 across? Like contact lenses for astigmatism. This must be some adjective I'm not familiar with. Doric for columns. Toric, are they like a torus shape? I'm not sure. Is this some kind of star? One clicking. I'm thinking of something that an audience would enjoy that has a clicking sound to it, like tap dancing, but I can't quite make that fit. 117 across. As of now, so far, I think it's Alyssa Slotkin for 97 down. A tap shoe. Okay, yeah, the shoe would be making the clicking sound for the audience. And then toric. I would guess that toric refers to a torus shape, which is like a donut, I think, isn't it? Like it wraps around. Would contact lenses do that? Maybe there's a hole in the middle. Okay, I don't know. I think that everything else looks right. Toric kind of makes sense. Maybe there's a hole in the middle, like a donut. Okay. 113 down, or and or. Kind of poetic contractions there. Often would be poetically contracted as oft. 106 down, marvelously. Stan Lee is a major figure in the history of Marvel Comics. 107 down, Taj Mahal City. That's in Agra. United Healthcare competitor is probably Aetna, the other insurance company. Shot glasses for something an aspiring photographer might wear. 101 across nutrient in avocados. They are fatty, I guess healthy fat, plant-based fat. Stroll is to saunter. For 106 across, 98 down charged, ran at, interrupts rudely, butts in. 108 down, blank noche, tonight in Spanish, that is esta noche, this night. Marsh grass could be a reed. Solution strength, oh, this is a nice word to know. I haven't seen this word in a while, but tighter is something that refers to the strength of a solution. In chemistry, Madrid, Madame, a married woman in Madrid would be called Senora, abbreviated SRA. Absolutely nothing. Another Spanish language clue is nada, and A will finish the puzzle. Ooh, we actually went a bit over 30 minutes today. So I didn't really feel like I was struggling with this. I guess I just wasn't moving very quickly. I did not guess a lot of the themed answers immediately. I had to get the crossing letters and then kind of figure it out. Venture cap, actually, I had to think about even after I'd filled it in. I thought of shot right away for aspiring photographer, but didn't think of shot glasses. Wind socks, venture cap, steamer trunks. That didn't come close quickly either. Dust jacket, nope. Kid gloves. I had something else in there before. I had yaps for jabbers, and then market watch. And all of these are things you would do to dress for the job you want. That was a clever puzzle. A little bit difficult for me today, although, yeah, and then we've got duad and octad going together. I would say duo and octet if I were going to use words like that to describe a set of 2 and a set of 8. But yeah, that fits. I would know what they meant. I'd probably need a lot of context for a duad. I just haven't seen that word before. But as I said, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's probably in the dictionary somewhere. All right, thanks for joining me for this puzzle. Please come back for more puzzle games, and I'll see you next time.